I welcome you to my show today, where we cover a very unfortunate incident in Kisii. And in my view, the events in Kisii were stage managed, by one side of the political divide. The idea being to create fujo and to take our politics in that direction that we must never go. And I appeal to all Kenyans of goodwill to reject anybody who wants to take us in that direction of violence. And it doesn't matter what part of the political divide you belong to. Even Team Tangatanga people should condemn what happened in Kisii in the strongest terms possible. But my guess is that they won't. I hope they surprise me. My guess is that they are more comfortable with blame games. Oh, it was the other side that provoked, oh, this and that. And if they prove me right, then we can all be sure that this is part of a well-calculated move. This is part of an objective, that will serve them politically, give them advantage as we go into the 2022 general elections. Very sad. But welcome to my show, where I give details. The remarks by the leader of ODM, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, a few hours ago, should raise a lot of concern amongst peace-loving Kenyans. Raila warned that there could be an escalation of violence as we head towards the 2022 general elections. And he blamed it on some selfish political interests in the country. But what Raila said did not take many Kenyans by surprise, because it is clear that this is the trend in our politics in recent times. And of course the question has to be why? Well, I'm going to surprise some of you. In Kenya, violence has been used very successfully to win political posts, big ones. Fujo is in the KANU rulebook, the KANU party that ruled Kenya for decades before the opposition removed them in 2002 from power. And I'm not against anybody. I am not favoring any side. But the truth is, Deputy President William Samoei Ruto is a keen student of KANU political tactics from the Moi days. And that is a fact. Now, of course, supporters of the Deputy President will shoot back that Raila is also a man of violence. But without defending Raila, without clarifying anything, I just have a very simple question. This violence on the part of Raila Odinga, does it come before elections or after election results have been announced? Fake election results. For those without emotion on this matter, that is the difference. Now, with that information, let us take this latest controversial incident in Kisii as an example. Of course, this was at the funeral of the father of the Kisii Deputy Governor, Bwana Joash Mangi, where there was a clash between the Dagoretti North Member of Parliament and firm supporter of Raila Odinga and ODM, Simba Arati, and Sylvanus Osoro, the South Mugirago legislator, and a firm member of Team Tangatanga. Now, from video clips of the incident, it was not very clear exactly what happened. Yeah, because the cameramen had set themselves up for speeches. Yeah, and some of them tend to fall half asleep. And it all happened too fast. Yeah, so many of them did not capture it. But on your screens right now, you will be able to see still photographs of how the entire incident progressed. What I believe was not captured by any video camera at the place. I don't blame anybody. It happened very fast. Now let us remove emotion and our partisan support of either side and examine this incident, without bias. The person speaking on the podium was Simba Arati. The South Mugirago legislator, Sylvanus Osoro, had already had his chance to speak, and he made a very charged speech. In fact, let me play it for you, because I think it's relevant to understand what happened later.
Not practical. It is not. Na ndio maana sisi kama jamii ya Wakisii, we demand more constituencies and we demand a sub-county. Alafu tunasema William Samoei Ruto for 2022 president. Hapa mbele. Kufa kupona. Kufa kupona. You cannot tell us William Ruto is a thief when you used William Ruto in 2007. You cannot tell us William Ruto is bad when you used him for Pentagon. Alikuwa mwizi siku gani? Hatuwezi kubali hiyo. Hatuwezi. Wangapi wananionyesha mikono ya William Ruto? Hebu nionyeshe. Hiyo ndio tumeamua hapa Kisii na hatutishiki. Thank you very much.
So Simba Arati then started his speech. And he said that the deputy president is surrounded by people who are not the face of Kisii. He said they were wash people. I believe that is the term for conmen. Generally, people of bad character. And then he went on to remind the deputy president that in 2007, many members of the Abagusi community lost their lives during the clashes in the Rift Valley. And he said that the deputy president should start by apologizing to the community. He also said it was wrong for people in Team Tangatanga to say that legislators at Sagana are being bribed with 2 million Kenya shillings to support the BBI, while that was a blatant lie. What was actually happening is that the president had granted the MCAs the car grant of 2 million Kenya shillings, because parliamentarians get 7 million car grant immediately they start their term. So he said Team Tangatanga knew very well it was not a bribe. It was the approval of a car grant for MCAs. Because Team Tangatanga gave the impression that the MCAs were being given 2 million shillings each in cash. Now allow me to give some free advice to Team Tangatanga, and especially the people who organize for mobs, people to be at gatherings to chant the name Ruto, Ruto, Ruto. And this is my advice. We have other popular leaders in the country. We don't have people chanting their names during public meetings or during every public meeting. And so when these people shout Ruto, 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 they make it too obvious what is happening. That these were actually people who were transported, hired there to chant, organized in a mob to chant. The whole idea being to give the perception that the deputy president is popular everywhere in the country. That's a political game. And I guess if somebody chooses to play it that way, who am I to advise them otherwise? But my advice is, you're making it too obvious. Let your transported people to these meetings do something else other than chanting Ruto, Ruto, Ruto. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's my view from my long experience in Kenyan politics. back to my point. The fact that Simba Arati was at the podium and Sylvanus Osoro, legislator for South Mugirago, ended up there is very telling. Because you have to ask the question, what was he doing there? What did he go to the podium to do? Because it would seem that he went there to attack Bwana Simba Arati. And if that is true, then it is also true to say that he is the one responsible for starting the whole thing. Because in politics, in any civilized nation, people say all kinds of things. Yeah? And you as a fellow politician are supposed to keep your cool until you get your chance to respond. And if you feel that these people in speaking have defamed your character, then there are legal steps you can take. And indeed, Bwana Osoro should understand this very well, because he's a lawyer by profession. And he's a clever man. Yeah? And he's sane, which would suggest that maybe his actions were politically motivated. There was a political objective he had in mind. There was a political objective Team Tangatanga had in mind. Something to do with Raila Odinga's comments, which I started today's show with, after my usual intro. Now, I've put a link in the description area below to an article I wrote in my Kumekucha blog years ago about how fujo is used in Kenya very effectively to win elections. Make sure you take it in so that you fully understand where some people are going with this. In my view, every patriotic Kenyan, whatever side of the political divide you belong, should put their foot down now and say, no, we cannot accept this in our country. We cannot accept this in our politics. These outdated Kanu tactics are not acceptable. And there's something else. You see, in the days of Kanu, you could get away with this kind of tricks very easily. There were no cameras around. There are no mobile phones. But these days, it is very easy to pick out people who have been purchased to attend a meeting. And it is very easy to see very clearly what is happening at a meeting. It's not the popularity of a certain candidate. It is that candidate planting, or his people, planting people at a meeting to disrupt things. And this should not be acceptable to any Kenyan. It doesn't matter even if you're in Team Tangatanga. Folks, in my view, things have gone way out of control. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.